A roof vegetable garden is a great step towards self-sufficiency. It is also very easy to make. You just need to find some containers for free or cheap. I got these feta cheese canisters for free from a supermarket that had discarded them. And you then need to fill them with soil. The soil has to be a little sandy, not too clayey. So if you have clay soil in your area, then you should try to find some sandy soil, or put some sand in the clay soil and mix them well. Now, the main needs of plants are two: potassium and nitrogen. Especially the annual plants, that is vegetables, which you will be growing here, need a lot of them. A lot of potassium and a lot of nitrogen, especially a lot of nitrogen. So this is the way that you can supply that to them. Potassium. Find someone who has a fireplace or a stove and take a bucket of ashes from him. Then place 2 to 3 cups on top of every container. Mix it well with the soil. That should be enough potassium for the entire season. Now here is when things get interesting. Nitrogen. Now nitrogen plants need a lot of, especially if they are high-yield plants such as vegetables. But you are lucky enough to have on your own a very good source of liquid nitrogen for free, which you usually throw down the drain. Or toilet, I hope. That's right. That is your piss. There really is no reason not to use it unless you have some kind of terrible infection. But considering that you will use only one piss per plant for the entire season, it really isn't a problem. I know you probably won't like what I will say now, but you eat bread, right? It comes from wheat, right? You know what's happening in wheat fields? They're full of field mice. Those mice eat the wheat, live of it, dig holes in the ground so that they can live there, and you don't want to know how many times they peed at the base of your wheat, which has now become your flour. And since you're probably alive if you're hearing this, I would say things are pretty much okay. In any case, you should pee in a cup and then empty the cup in the container for better results and not any splashing damage. You can also use a nice stone that you will paint to mark where you have to pee the next time. And every time you fertilize one container, you can move it to the next, so that you always know where to fertilize next. You can also give the stone funny names, such as green piss or the stone of well peeing. Well, the latter is my stone's name, so I'm afraid you'll have to find something else. If you do these things 2, 3 or 4 times a year per container, you will never have to worry about the depleting minerals and nutrients from the soil, because you will constantly be enriching it, keeping it fertile as ever. Annuals need a lot of nutrients because they produce a lot of edible mass in a very short time, but 4 peas per container should be enough for any crop. That's how rich in nitrogen your pea is. The final thing you need to do is punch a hole in the bottom of your container. A single hole will do. That is to prevent flooding from rain. You can do this with a hammer and a single nail that you will be using to punch a hole at the side of every container, but very close to the bottom. The final question is what to plant. Because of the container's restricted space, plants that develop an edible mass underground, such as potatoes, carrots, etc., don't do too well because they have to compress the soil and they get compressed by the soil as well. So the best bet is to plant things that grow on the surface of the container, that make roots. The roots don't take up too much space in the container, so you will be fine then. But that actually leaves you with a lot of options, such as cabbage, lettuce, spinach. You could even grow corn if you wanted. So that is it. Apart from carrying the containers with the soil to the top of your roof, it really isn't a difficult method to grow your own crops. Just remember that if you are in a city with a lot of pollution, all that pollution will be ending up on your plants and you will not want to eat them then. I've tried it before and you can really taste the pollution on them. But if you are living in a city with low pollution or in an area of a city with not too many cars passing nearby and not too much industrial pollution around, then I would definitely suggest giving it a go. It's a great step towards the very important matter of self-sufficiency, and it literally costs you nothing. Thanks for watching.